Shalom to everyone. Today is class number 4. We are learning from the book Torat Hatahara, chapter 2, in the page Vav on the bottom. So I'm not sure if today is class number 4, class number 5. We will call it class number 4 and go from here further and on. This week's parsha, it says, Atem nitzavim hayom kulchem lifnei Adonai Elohechem. All of you today standing before Hashem, Rashachem, Shiftechem, Ziknechem, the heads of the tribes, all of you. But in our Mefarshim, Baalei Musar, they say, who are standing before Hashem does not matter. You could be a great rabbi, or you could be a person who does no aleph. As long as you strive to be perfect, you strive to be into a better life system, you want to live better, you want to make a better step, you're already in that group. And it's considered you are standing in front of Hashem, and Hashem looks at you exactly the way He looks at the biggest rabbi in the world. Why? Because for Hashem, everyone is equal. Hashem does not see by face, Hashem looks at the heart. And when Hashem sees the heart, that our heart is striving to be a better person, a better husband, a better wife, better son, better daughter, better father, better mother, He says, you know what, you striving, I consider as if you are already. Now, we're starting page Vav on the bottom. We learned before that husband should be separated from his wife on the 30th day. This is first separation. What separation is this? Only no relationship. The rest, everything else is allowed. We'll see the conditions later on, but at the moment, only relationship is not allowed. And if she saw her period last month during daytime, he has to separate from her. The 12-hour period could be on summer longer hours, winter shorter hours, basically the whole day from sunrise to sunset. And if she sees at night, so from sunset to sunrise, he has to be separated from her only from relations. But as long as she's clean, she goes to sleep on the bed. Halachically, meikar adin, he also is allowed to go to sleep on that bed. Why? Because at the moment she's clean. And when she sees it, she'll go to different bed, or he will go to different bed. Then from that time and on, she's nida. And what's the laws? We'll talk about that later. But for now, והפרישה בעונה בינונית נוהגת באישה שרואה פעמים קודם עונה בינונית ופעמים אחר עונה בינונית. When does a man need to be separated from his wife on the 30th day? When she sees sometimes before 30 days, sometimes after 30 days. For example, now we're holding on September. Let's say June 4, woman saw her period. And then July 2nd, she saw her period. That was after 28 days, let's say. And then she saw on August 6th her period. So this is after 30 days. So once she saw before 30 days, once she saw after 30 days. So next month, she has to be worried from the 30th day, including other ones, but we're not talking about that yet. So any woman that she sees her period once before 30 days, once after 30 days, she has to be considering the 30th day. Why? Because 30th day is like regular cycle for all the women in the world. Ulam, but אישה שרגילה לראות תמיד אחר עונה בינונית, כגון שרגילה לראות פעמים ביום 32 או פעמים ביום 34 לראייתה האחרונה. But if, let's say, now again we go back to June 4. Let's say she saw June 4 and then she sees July 6 after 32 days. And then she saw August 8 or August 10 after 34 days. So she never has a cycle less than 30 days. It always goes to 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. Okay, so since her cycle never less than 30 days, she does not need to be worried to be separated from her husband on the 30th day. For the 12-hour period, if it's daytime, if it's nighttime. Ul-olam en eloah b'yom hashloshim leliyata. Since she never sees on the 30th day, she always passes the 30-day cycle. V'lo kodem lachen, and not before that. En tzricha lachush leyom hashloshim. She doesn't need to be worried on the 30th day. Leliyata shehu ona benunit. Because this is considered like a middle cycle, and she doesn't have that, and therefore she doesn't need to be worried on that cycle. And on the 30th day, she does not need to be separated from her husband, because she never sees on the day number 30. She always goes 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, but never 30. Now we're going further. We spoke about lady who passes 30 days. What if she doesn't? What if she has sometimes after 25 days, after 30 days, after 26 days, after 34 days? Let's say her cycle always jumping around. Sometimes it's more than a month, sometimes it's less than a month. In that case, when should be they separated so they shouldn't do avera? What avera? For example, he thinks she's clean today, she's going to be clean the whole day, today, tomorrow, and he wants to make a mitzvah, and she sees in the middle of the process she's bleeding, and comes out, he lived with nida. So what should they do that they should not have these problems? וכן צריך הבעל לפרוש מאשתו באישה שאין לה וסת קבוע גם ביום ההפלגה האחרונה. Now, all this we're talking about, woman has to be separated from her husband 30th day, 26th day, 34th day, depends on how many days were from the previous period until today. But now, all this we're talking about when woman does not have particular cycle. But if she has Veset Kavua, that she has a set cycle, she has nothing to be worried about those other days. Let's say, woman follows Jewish calendar. She always sees on the first of the Jewish month. Every month she sees on the first, and she knows her cycle. She does not need to be separated, never from her husband, but only on the first of the Jewish month for 12 hours. So since she knows she's going to be seeing her period that time, she's not allowed to be having relations with her husband. Let's say she sees every month on the 10th. Same thing. If she sees 10th night of the 10th, so that night before, the night of the 30th, she's not allowed to be with her husband. If it's daytime, as never to be 30th, the night before the 10th, and if it's daytime, then the whole from beginning of the 10th sunrise until sunset, she's not allowed to be with him. Are they allowed to kiss and hug each other? We said yes, only relations not allowed, but other stuff, everything is allowed. So the relation is not allowed. After that 12-hour period passes, sun sets, she checks herself, she's clean. If she's clean, they're allowed to be together again. Okay, so now we're going halacha. So what are we talking about? That lady we spoke about who has set cycle, and the one who needs to be worried on different cycles are we talking about a woman who does not have set cycle. So if woman does not have set cycle, and she has sometimes more than 30 days, sometimes less than 30 days, she has to be separated on the 30th day. This is the first cycle that every person who is just beginning, like me and you, need to be following. So if woman does not know what to do, she says, excuse me, what am I walking around with calendar all day and night? What's going on here? I'm not going to do that. So any woman remembers when she saw last month. So from that time, she should take a calendar, count, on the night of the 30th, she says, you know what? If she saw at night, it's night. If she saw daytime, it's daytime. She says to her husband, listen, that day, We're not allowed to be together. She says, oh, my net I'm going to be with you together. I'm at work. Leave me alone, man. I want to rest. So now, all the jokes aside, if it's daytime, they're not allowed to be together daytime. If it's night, they're not allowed to be together at night. But after that cycle passes, means 12 hours passes. If it was night, as soon as sunrise, she checks herself, she's clean, they're allowed to be together. If it's daytime, sun sets, she checks herself, she's clean, they're allowed to be together afterward. Now, we're reading halacha carefully from page number Zayin. Whoever has the book Torat Hatahara could follow through. Also, besides the separation on the night of the 30th, person whose wife is not having a set cycle needs to be separated. Gam beyom ha'haflaga, also on the day of the jumping ha'acharona, the jumping of the previous cycle. Means, דהיינו, שיש לחשב את הימים שבין ראייתה האחרונה לבין זו שקדמה לה. For example, today is September 11, Twin Tower Day. Okay? Now, September 11, she sees previous time, it was August 10. So from August 10 till September 11, 31 days. Okay? Since she saw after 31 days, next month, she has to be separated from her husband October 12 after 31 days. If September has 31 days, and August had 31 days, then she has to be separated on October 12. But if September has 30 days, then she has to be separated October 13. Means after 31 days. וכשהגיע אותו יום, and when August 12 happens, when October 12 happens, צריך לפלוש ממנה. He has to separate from his wife. כגון, אם היו בין שתי ראיותיה האחרונות 25 ימים. For example, today is September 11. After 25 days, it happens October 6. And from September 11, if we go backwards, she saw on August 16. From August 16 till September 11 is 25 days. If woman saw Nida August 16 and then she sees on September 11, then husband has to be separated from her October 6th, because her cycle is every 25 days. So now, if he separates from her on October 6th, he has to separate, let's say it was early in the morning she saw, that whole day they're not allowed to live together. And from that day, he has to count 5 more days. October 11th, again has to be separated from her for 12 hours. Why? Because that's the 30th day. Since it is the 30th day from previous cycle, he has to be separated from her then also, and on the 25th day that she had jumping. So we see from here, sometimes for some women, you have to separate 2 times. How? Let's say we'll put calendar back on the 1st of the month. If woman saw Nida on the 1st, and then she saw on 25th of that month, so she has jumping every 25 days. So next month, she has to be separated from her husband on 25th day from previous seeing. And not only that, but she has to be separated from on the 30th day from previous seeing also. But if she's every month after 25 days, if that happened for the 4th time, then she never has to be separated no other days, not even the 30th day. Only on the night of the 25. Why? Because every time she's jumping, only for 25 days. צריך לדרוש ממנה על האחר 25 ימים מיום הוויסתה האחרון. ואם ויסתה האחרון התחיל בלילה, והוויסתה שלפניו ביום, וכן להפך צריך לדרוש ממנה כהונת ויסתה האחרון. Now, let's go back to August 16. August 16, woman sees Nida in the 2 o'clock in the morning, in the night. September 11, after 25 days, she sees Nida again, but in the daytime. So 1 second. From here, 25 days later, on October 6th, when do I have to be separated from my wife? 2 months ago, she saw jumping on the night cycle. Last month, she saw on the day. So when do I have to be separated from her now? Day or night? So the answer is, I always follow the previous one. If the previous one was daytime, I have to be separated from her daytime. If the previous one was nighttime, then I have to be separated from her nighttime. ונכון לפלוש מאישה שאין לה וסת קבוע גם ביום החודש. And the last hard part of the Shiur is, and also it's proper, if person separates from his wife on the day of the Jewish calendar. So if she sees on the 10th of Jewish calendar, he has to be separated from her on the 10th. If she sees on the 20th, he has to be separated from her on the 20th. But again, guys, listen carefully. We are not here to confuse anybody. Baruch Hashem, we are holding in a different level. Baruch Hashem, everybody's excited to learn this halachot, including me. But listen carefully again, as we are taking stuff step by step, as we're understanding each other, as Baruch Hashem are growing properly. Let's take it like this. There's a big rabbi by the name Rabbi Mordechai Eliyahu, who is buried right near Chida in the cemetery Givat Shaul. He was a chief rabbi in Israel. He wrote the book Darkei Tahara. He writes there like this: if couple have hard time understanding to be separated on the 25th, on the 30th day, on the 32nd, 34th day, for now, to begin their religious life, forget about the religious Jewish life, proper life, clean life, pure life. To begin pure life, let them work on one thing at a time. Let's take on ourselves the 30th day, because 30th day, 99.9 women in the world, they see on the 30th, unless they take different type of pills that changes cycle. But we're talking about simple class people, they see on the 30th day. Every woman knows every 30 days, 29 days, 30 days, 31 days, they have their cycle. So let's take one thing at a time. If women saw previous month or previous week or previous week and a half, 2 weeks and a half, 3 weeks and a half, certain day, let's put in the calendar a small sign. Nobody in the family should know this. It's between them and Hashem. Put small dot on that or red marker to say, to know for herself, this is the day that I saw not clean. And from that time and on, she counts exactly 29 days. After 29 days, that night is considered to be 30th night. If she saw last month in the middle of the night, before night starts, after sunset, she has to be separated from her husband, not to live with him together that entire night until sunrise. After sunrise, she checks herself, her relative didn't come, not atzlacha, and then live with her husband, make him happy. Good. Let's say if it's daytime, she checks herself. She separates daytime, and after daytime is over, sun is set. She checks herself. She's clean. She's allowed, after checking, she's allowed to be with her husband. Why? Because once the relative didn't come, we're not worried anymore. So this is the first proper step anyone can take. The 30th day from the previous cycle. But we have to finish the halacha. And also it's proper to separate from woman who doesn't have a set cycle. Also on the Jewish date. When it happened on the Jewish date. Because she saw on that Jewish date last month. Previous cycle. But woman who has a set cycle, as we spoke before, he doesn't have to separate from her on the 30th day. He has to separate from her on the proper day that she sees as a set cycle. And also after this, nothing else. Now, law number 4, Dalet. If let's say every woman is different. Tomorrow morning is Monday. Let's say she sees a little bit blood on Monday, and it goes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So when he has to be separated from her? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all 3 days? If next month he's going to be separated from her all 3 days, then it's going to be World War V. So has to be done stuff properly. It says, Ben Shedar Kalirot Bashefa, whether woman sees a lot of blood, ובין שהיא מזלפת טיפין באותם ימים, or whether she sees drop by the drops on those days, אין צריך לפלוש ממנה אלא בעונה הראשונה של תחילת הווסת. He has to separate from her only on the beginning of the cycle. Means, if it began Monday morning and it went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, she's still bleeding, it never stopped. Next month, on the 30th day, he has to separate from her only daytime. Only 12-hour period of daytime. After sun sets, she checks herself, she's clean, he's allowed to be with her. Even though last month, those days she was still bleeding, still continued bleeding, still drops were coming. Nobody cares about that. We follow only after the beginning. We follow only in the beginning of the cycle, because that is the main thing. But whatever she sees on the further days, it's just additions to the blood. But the main thing is after the beginning of the cycle. But when she checks herself on the next month, on the beginning of the cycle, that daytime, and she's clean, nothing to worry about, she's clean, good to go. After she checks herself, she's 100% clean, she's allowed to be with her husband, because whatever didn't come, we're not worried it's going to come in the next 12 hours or 24 hours. They're allowed to be together until she bleeds next time. Over here, we want to stop our shiur, and Be'ezad Hashem should help us to finish this halachot with happiness. Baruch Hashem, we see many fruits come out from this Shiurim. And the next Shiur, when we gather together, we are not going to discuss halachot of Taharat HaMishpacha. Next Shiur we're having with something that I have to work on myself a lot, raising kids. And Be'ezat Hashem, it will be many educational stuff that you will have lots of benefits, and I would really advise for you to come for next Shiur with a pen and paper or notebook. And we're having a sponsor who will sponsor badika clothes for everybody, for every couple. It's something good to have in the house. Badika clothes, the white clothes that they sell in the mikvahs. And Bezat Hashem, one of the greatest things I learned about kids, raising kids, I want to share with you before we're finishing. It says like this: Kechitzim beyad gibor ken bnei haneurim. As the arrows in a strong man's hands, so are the young children. Why David HaMelech compares arrow with a child? Arrow kills, child doesn't kill. Yes, Gemara says the worriness, the troubles, the fear how we'll raise kids, it gets people old. People get old because of their kids. Yes, true. But kids don't kill. Kids are helpful. Why David HaMelech compares kids to the arrows? The answer is arrow, when the strong man, Gibor, has arrow in the bow, the more he pushes arrow to himself, the further it flies. Same thing. Any parent, any educator, the more you take your student or son or daughter close to yourself, and you give them proper hug, and you give them proper kiss, and you give them proper warmth, the further they'll go, even though they'll be on their own, or they'll be on their own their house, or they'll be on their own their offices, or they'll be on their own in different states or cities, or they'll be on their own after 120 when we leave this world. We know for sure that warmth that we give them will keep them strong, and they will never cross the borders that they are not allowed to cross. Why? Because of the warmth we give them. Good night.